we were driving to Tennessee to do a show.
Yeah.
And we saw something on the side of the
Was
road.
it like a Bob Evans breakfast?
Was it? Is that what it was?
Advertisement. I feel like that's what, or maybe it's just a restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Cracker
It
Barrel?
might have been that. But we also saw that sign that said, Jesus isn't on Facebook, but you can still follow him. Yeah. And we were just like, isn't that true?
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. You know, Jesus isn't on Facebook.
No, he's not.
He is not. But you know what? I choose to follow him. I choose to follow him. You know, sometimes you need to hear that.
You do need to hear that.
Yeah,
it's those little things. It's those everyday little things that just pop
you know, the other day I was driving, I saw a sign, it just said live, laugh, love, and I was just like, I don't do that enough.
You know what I need to do? Sometimes I need to hit pause on my day. And I need to stop and I need to remember.
I feel like we did that on the road for about
like
an hour. Because that's
commenting on every sign that went by. It's a fun game.
You know what I do?
Like,
I do like Bob Evans.
I do it. They got great portions.
Oh, they are big. They are big. Bob Evans, would you like to be our sponsor?
Yeah.
Yep. That's fun. So if you started watching this podcast, you're either a friend or you are someone who follows us through social media or came to a show or something like that. But it's called Risk It for the Biscuit for a reason. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that you would like do a career shift in your 40s?
Yeah. No. I did feel like while I was working at our church for a long time, I did feel for some time that there was another phase or something was going to shift, but I never really thought, I'm going to just go do performing full time.
Right. Like
performing full time when you live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it just feels like a pipe dream and feels like, you're not really serious if you're serious, you're going to move to New York, LA, or LA or something like that. But maybe there's still some truth to that. But the interwebs kind of has changed things. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I never thought I would be doing what I'm doing right now and still be able to live where I am right now. So it never really entered my mind.
If you're just catching the podcast at this point, Chris and I both worked at a church for 15, 20 years. And this last year, we both independently quit our jobs to pursue life in comedy professionally. Yeah. I'm a stand-up, and you are acting your pants off.
Yeah.
So much. You do so much more acting than I do stand-up. And I do a lot of stand-up.
Well, yeah.
So, So you were, so in case people don't know, you were a writer and a performer at our church.
Yeah.
You did that for a long time.
Which is really weird to say. Like, most people are like, what do you mean at a church?
Right.
Like, we had...
It's kind of unique.
A unique situation in our church where we would do like sketches and do humorous promos or humorous videos like in our weekend services. Yeah. It's just kind of part of the culture of, we would do a lot of art projects and what am I saying? Like performance art type stuff. Mm-hmm. That makes it sound like it's like, it wasn't a lot of dancing, but like...
No, a lot of sketches. A lot of sketches.
Yeah, comedy.
Monologues, things like
fun, that. Yeah, fun stuff. Or hard-hitting things or whatever. Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that was already awesome.
Yeah.
Because we got to do a lot of that together.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Yeah, but then... that season kind of ended. Yeah. That 22-year season of your life kind of ended. So do you even think of it as like a career shift? I mean, it is in a big way, but...
It's funny. I hadn't really thought about that. I look at it more like a job shift than a career shift because I'm still kind of doing similar things that I did before. I mean, there's a lot of new things to learn on the business side of doing comedy full time or acting full time. I don't even know what to call it. Social media.
I think you should just say acting.
Just say acting?
I think so.
The reason I don't like saying acting is because people immediately go like, well, what movies have you been in?
I think it's
like, it's like not that exactly, but like.
Yeah, I think I would.
But it is acting.
I would probably be like.
Characters, social media.
It's actually all on TikTok. Yeah. And on Cameo. Instagram, like it's just different.
Yeah, it's different. I'm not like an influencer, like a social media influencer. So it feels like it's which has kind of been the story of my life. Even, like we just talked about working at a church, but you're like an actor and performer. Like what? How does that work? I've always kind of felt like I've been kind of, in the cracks and crevices of life, kind of trying to find where I fit into all of this. But
I think it helps. Yeah. The other day, someone asked me about being a stand-up comedian, and I told him the story of the first time that I ever said I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
And what that meant.
Yeah.
When I kind of accidentally said it.
Yeah.
And the person received it. And I remember that being kind of a pivot point.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Mentally.
It's like just owning it at a certain level.
Yeah, because there is definitely, like, I think no matter what, well, especially if you're going into an artistic job, there's a level of embarrassment that could follow when you say, oh, I'm a singer, actor, whatever. People, kind of could roll their eyes.
Yeah. And I think what makes me uncomfortable about it too is that I know that it's somewhat interesting. Like if you're like if you're to tell somebody, "Oh, I'm an actor," I know that they're not going to just be like, oh, "Okay, cool." Like they're going to be like, "Really? Ooh, what?" So I think sometimes I feel like to say it, I feel like I'm fishing for like attention or fishing for like, "Ooh, aren't I interesting?" or something. And so it kind of makes me uncomfortable or self-conscious. And so, but it was actually with Gary, and we were at this thing where we were actually floating down a river we were river rafting, and the guide who was in the boat with us was going around like the circle to all the guys, kind of just getting to know us and like asking what their names were and what they did. And they're like, this guy does this, and I'm like, he's gonna come to me, and then I kind of don't know what to say, and I know and I just like.
This was recently?
This was like a few months ago, and I just remember like I clammed up, like I was like, I'm Chris, and I mean and then Gary's like, you're an actor, you perform. Yeah. But I was like, I just couldn't even say it. It was like really weird. I don't know why it weirded me out so much, but like we talked about it afterwards. I was like, I just need to own the fact that it's like I'm an actor, and if you project that I'm like in movies or something, whatever. But
it was awkward.
Yeah, it was.
It was awkward moment for all of us.
I just made it awkward for everybody.
Yeah,
but it is this weird thing of like, I think I don't know, like I don't want to come across like arrogant or prideful or like I'm trying to sound like I'm a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it feels like I sound like it's like when I hear it myself, I feel like it sounds like I'm trying to act like I'm a big deal, and I don't want to come across that way. So I'm trying to.
I understand that, and knowing your personality, like the uncomfortability you'd have with it.
Yeah.
I'm not as uncomfortable with it. But that's just because of my personality. So if if you don't know, I'm a stand-up, but I also write television shows, and I have successfully written one television show, sold that series, and it continues to live on, and we'll do another season. But I'm on my second television show, and we make it up in Virginia. It's animated, you know this. And I was on a plane the other day, and there was this couple beside me, and they said, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm a writer." And they said, "What do you write?" And I said, "Well, currently I'm working on a television show." And my buddy, who is also on that show, was next to me, and he was making fun of me because I said I was a television writer.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, a large part of my money comes from this. So I feel like, at what point am I going to be comfortable saying, like, does the show have to be like so successful or whatever?
Yeah. What measure of success does it have to have for another to say it? Yeah. I think that's, what I feel, but I don't like that. I think I should be able to say like, yeah, I'm an actor on social media or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think having all your money coming from something means that you have to is the only reason that you can say you're from something.
Yeah.
Even though like you make the majority of your money being Steven Stevens.
Yeah.
What I think when either of you, if I had met you for the first time and you said I'm an actor, I'm a stand-up comedian, I would just go, oh, they're trying to be an actor.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it.
I've never seen you on
a
movie or on a Netflix special.
Yeah.
So I just think the worst.
Well, and even that I'm comfortable with if someone's just
you are comfortable with that.
Like, it's not that I'm trying to, I think I would be more embarrassed if they left that conversation thinking like, dude, I was on the plane with this guy. He's an actor. Let's look him up.
Okay.
Let's get the family to look him up. I was with a celebrity. And then they look me up
I would do next.
and realize that he doesn't.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I guess and then for him to think this guy was acting like he was a big deal, but he's not really done anything.
Yeah.
Like, why am I trying to control all these like things that
also, what's the matter what somebody else thinks?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why do I worry about that? But
I say more power to you. If I meet you and you're like, I'm a musician and you're like, I don't know, I've never heard of you. I'm still just like, awesome.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Cause I love it when people follow their passions.
Yeah.
I also think that's much more interesting than, I'm not looking for someone to be like, well, I'm trying to be a musician, but right now, like, I'm a bookkeeper. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't care about that other part.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So I doubt that the people that you are friends with are like, or that like you, like if somebody like in that group or whatever asks you like what you're doing, like, I doubt that they're just like, oh, come on.
No, yeah. And actually another friend of mine that was in that group who produces a lot of, does a ton of video work and is very successful, like local producer here, or not even local. That sounds even.
He just lives locally.
He lives locally. Does a lot of stuff. He's like, you're an actor, dude. Like, why are you hanging? What's the hang up here?
Yeah. Also,
and I'm like, I don't know.
Also, like, it's not as glamorous as people think.
Yeah.
Like, writing a television show is incredibly hard work. Being a stand-up is very difficult.
Yeah.
I have been with you in a hotel room, Shady, when you're doing
Stepped on Steven.
When you're doing
cameos.
Not that glamorous.
No, it's not.
Yeah. So it's not all red carpets, people. That's just part of it. So when you quit your job at the church, what was your plan?
No, yeah. So the plan was to do freelance video work, editing, producing videos, stuff like that. So, and I did that for, like, it's funny. It was really just only for a few months. Like, so
not too long.
So it was like January. My wife and I, we had saved up money and I'd done a few things here and there. And I was working a lot on kind of my stand-up stuff. And we're like, okay, we've got enough money, like, to get us through December. Like, so let's just, like, in January, that's where we're really going to, like, focus on earning money. But for right now, like, I think it was probably October or something. We're like, okay, we're good for, like, the rest of the year. Let's just take this time to, I don't know, rest a little bit, but also to just, like, be thinking about the future and kind of what we want to do. And I remember when January hit, we're like, all right, here we go. It's time to start making the money.
Yeah.
And so I was doing freelance video production, and I made $600 in January. And I was just like, oh crap.
Living the dream.
Like, this is when I'm supposed to, like, really be putting it into gear and making all this money, and it wasn't really happening.
Kind of scary.
Very scary. That is also coincidentally when I launched my TikTok channel. So it wasn't like I just was sitting around doing nothing, but I had committed on my TikTok channel to just, like, to do it for, like, 2 years, like, whether I make any money on it or not.
Okay.
Like, I'm just going to, I believe that this will work. I believe that consistency matters. I don't want to just post a couple of videos and then be like, well, I don't know, we'll see if it works.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to commit to doing it, and then we'll just kind of see what happens. And so February, March, got a ton of freelance work, and it was like, holy crap, I'm doing really, really well. And actually for 3 months, February, March, April, and then
doing video production
work.
And then you're just kind of,
I'm still doing TikTok stuff on top of that. But then TikTok started taking off. I believe that was at the beginning of March. I think was that first Steven video of last year. Yeah. And then
that 21 or 22? 2022?
No, 22. Yeah, this year. Yeah, sorry, this last March. Is where TikTok started to kind of take off with my Steven character. And then it was like maybe a month or two. Maybe that was February when Steven arrived. Then it was like at the very end of March is when I announced that I was on Cameo. So I had to get 20,000 followers to be on Cameo. And I just crossed 20,000. And someone in the comment section was like, do you do personalized videos? And I was like, no, but I should.
Yeah.
And I had done a couple personalized videos just for friends.
Yeah.
Like Pastor Bobby for a pastor friend of mine. And you know, so I really enjoyed like those kinds of things. I thought that would be really fun, but how would you ever do that? And so reached out to Cameo. They're like, yeah, you know, you check all the boxes. So come on. I sent out a video announcing I was on Cameo, and I got 500,000 views.
Hello.
And I was just booking so many cameos, and to the point I like started freaking. I'm like, how am I going to do these? And like, I'd never done one before. And so it was like, and so I booked a ton of them. And then obviously, yeah, it's like, it's tapered off, but still like I steadily get cameos every week. And that's a huge part of how I make my money.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So I actually, after it took off on Cameo, then I stopped doing freelance.
Yeah, you haven't really been doing any freelance unless it's like acting related.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Funny. So you kind of left your gig at the church to, you're just like, I just can tell this time is over. Not really. I mean, I know that you've always wanted to be an actor.
Yeah.
But you weren't like, I'm leaving and I'm going to acting.
Yeah. I thought it would take a lot longer to do what I'm doing now. Like, so I knew I was doing the right thing. I felt like in my heart I was taking the right steps, but I just assumed that I'd probably be having to do freelance video production for a couple years at least or something.
Which would be fine.
Which would have been fine. It's a great profession. It's not exactly where I want to be. So it's just crazy.
Yeah. And then another big win.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah. Then we just launched products and merch this past week, 2 weeks ago.
Why did you do that? You just thought of it?
So it really was more about trying to diversify my income streams. Like
I love talking about diversifying.
Income stream. There we go.
Now we're getting into it.
Keep listening.
Yeah. Sorry.
Now we're talking. You got some stocks you want to mention? Some faves?
According to my calculations. Yeah, I just was trying to get more, because if like right now I'm in a pretty precarious position in terms of like
Cameo goes down
or TikTok.
The Munch family goes down.
If the TikTok algorithm turns its ugly head, turns against me, which I've heard it can happen.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, that's kind of where all of my customers are coming from. And so I need to be building a more stable, communication. Yeah. And so starting an email list and trying to build that where I can actually communicate to people who like what I do. And I'm not a slave to the TikTok algorithm. But yeah, so merch is just another way to go. I'd like to be at a place to kind of stabilize my income where there's money coming in even when I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's creating a little bit more of a passive kind of income thing.
Yeah.
Stream. Sometimes I feel a little, I wouldn't say depressed, but just like you just kind of feel down, like I don't know. I'm sure everybody experiences this where you see somebody else who's like super good at what you're doing and you're like, they're so much better than me.
Oh yeah.
And they don't have ads on they're not selling merch. Oh. They're not doing like, they're just like a true artist and they're just like,
oh, interesting.
and so sometimes that stuff can kind of mess with you a little bit. But like, I also feel like I have a responsibility to provide for my family. I've got 4 children and a wife. I love them dearly. And
you didn't really think that one through, did you? When you wanted to get into the arts.
And so I have a responsibility to take care of them. And so I look at like, I don't know, the way it's made sense to me is kind of in phases of like right now, I feel like I'm in that first kind of like survival, like, okay, let's get some things, some channels of income coming in that just we're going to be okay. Let's get our bases covered.
Right.
And then that I would like to do just a lot more kind of like live performing as well. So that's kind of like phase 2.
Cause you did kind of start, at the beginning performing. In fact, we were performing together.
That's right. We were doing, I was doing a lot more stand up and then it just kind of, as I started to do stuff on Instagram or on TikTok, like social media, I'm like, the characters I do, like the acting is, I feel like I get the biggest kind of like responses in the sense of what people remember.
Yeah.
And I just kind of felt like, I think I need to just maybe like stay in my lane a little bit, or like, and acting is my background and that's what I've done for years. So just kind of like, I don't know, let's just focus on that for a bit. But storytelling, I don't consider myself like a true blue stand-up comedian. Like my stage presence, I think would be more that of like a storyteller.
Also, just so you know, in stand-up comedy, a blue comic
that's true. Yeah,
is a dirty comic.
That's what I meant. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not, I would say I'm not like a true stand-up artist. Like where there's some people that just like stand-up is you on a stage with a microphone. Like that's what stand-up is.
Some people are like that.
And I'm more just like, I just want to create moments that people enjoy. And so like if I could see a live show involving pictures and video and
I think that's great.
Multimedia presentation.
A multimedia presentation.
PowerPoint, some charts,
slides. Yes.
Maybe a few props.
Pie graphs.
But there's a lot of comics that, I mean, that totally do that. Yeah. I mean, if you watch Adam Sandler's last special.
Yeah, that's true.
Like he's playing the guitar, he's showing video of Chris Farley. And there are some people, or Dimitri Martin, who has like drawings. But there are some comics who are like,
that's not stand-up.
That's not stand-up.
Yeah.
And to that person, I would say, okay. That's what I would say.
Can I pause?
Cool. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Just sold a sweatshirt. Sorry.
I wanted to.
I thought it was my wife texting me.
Oh, guys, hold on real quick.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I just made $15. Sorry.
Okay. I did make some money. Okay. So just wanted to multitasking here, doing the podcast and making sales.
I just don't want to sound like I'm trying to act like a big deal. You know what I mean? I just want to be real careful. Yeah, sold another one.
Okay.
But
I'm sorry. I should probably just silence this. Is what I should have done.
Well, I would silence it, but my wife is having car trouble right now, and so I'm trying to.
Oh, not so glamorous anymore, is it, Chris?
Exactly.
Back
down to earth.
Back to Tulsa.
Trying to make sure I need to go.
Both of your cars are currently having issues.
Mine's fine. Mine got out of the shop. We're all good to go. Yeah, we're good on mine.
But home, that's fine. I can get you home if you need a ride.
No, I can get home. It's my wife that's having trouble getting home.
Okay. No, and they're fine.
I'm sure she'll be.
Daddy's making the money.
Yeah.
No, I'm waiting on confirmation that
fine.
she's got a ride. So.
Totally fine. Well, that's awesome. So that's what you're doing. And so eventually some more stand-up, which would be nice because it would be nice to do a show with you again.
Yeah, I would really like to I would like to have a better grasp of how to incorporate my characters into like a live thing. I've never done that. And I just feel like, man, I got to figure that out. But I've been so busy just trying to get some of this social media stuff off the ground that I feel like I haven't really been able to focus on it. So hopefully 2022 will be more of a year of focusing on doing more shows. I have people asking a lot, just too. Just like, hey, are you going to be in my area or whatever? So I'd really love to get out and just kind of hit some regions and see if there's a market for it. See if people want to come see.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I think it'd be awesome.
Yes, you should take someone with you.
Yeah, no,
like another stand-up
person.
Yeah,
no, it'd be wonderful.
Like somebody's pretty good.
I need
maybe
somebody.
He's been on stage a lot lately.
I just need somebody.
If you could just find somebody that fits.
I just need somebody that I can stand to be around.
Yes.
For a certain amount of time.
Exactly. Someone who's not a nuisance in the car. Yes. All right. So if you,
Chris,
yeah,
Gary. Gary is who I've been thinking of.
That makes sense. Yeah, Gary's got a lot of stage experience, so he loves that stage.
Either of you guys look good.
Yeah. There we go.
Get that guy off.
Yeah, that first guy.
Yeah, glad you took the stage. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? 2022. That would be. We should do a tour in 2022.
Oh my word!
That would be so fun.
Well, it's
guys.
What
am I saying?
It's almost over. Depending on when you listen to this. Yeah. Oh, dude.
2023.
Dude. Yeah. A biscuit tour.
A biscuit tour. Get that biscuit tour.
Get that biscuit tour. Dude, I'd love it.
That'd be fun.
That's awesome.
Is there like a city of risking it for the biscuit? Like there's like the, city of brotherly love or whatever that you could start it off in. It's probably
I don't know, but I feel like a city in the South would be biscuit related.
Yeah. More of like
a lot of carbs.
Maybe Tennessee or Alabama.
The chicken biscuit.
Yeah. Chasing that chicken biscuit.
Atlanta. Start.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
That sounds about right.
Chicken biscuit.
No, I love. Yeah.
Isaac could do it with us.
Yeah, that's right. Our pal Isaac Witty.
Another celebrity you guys met.
There it is. That's true.
That's right. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So that's an update on Chris.
Yeah.
Hey,
Adam, how are you? Thank you for having me. What are you doing these days? Because something tells me you've been up to some fun stuff.
Have you thought about a character that was a game show host?
I mean, I've played game show hosts before in sketches.
So no, okay. That's just your way of saying no.
I hadn't really thought about it. What would it be? What would be funny? A game show host in real life situations?
I don't. Maybe actually, as you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, it's actually not that funny.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm open to it.
I don't know what the tension.
Gary, what's funny about that? Is that funny? A game show host in real life situations?
I think it'd get annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably
Which might be funny in a commercial for like.
Do you want to see Chris play game show host on TikTok? Write in to riskitpod. riskitpod@gmail.com. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let's see.
If
you do have ideas for characters, though, you could. I'd be open to hear.
I mean, I'm still a big fan of you playing a Southern lady.
Yeah.
Trish.
Yeah, Trish.
Sugar.
Trish and Pat. What do you guys?
Chris and
it's funny. My kind of female Southern character kind of turned into Pastor Bobby.
That's very true.
Because my kind of pastor character never had a Southern accent until I launched him on TikTok.
Oh, really?
It was just he was
that
way, but he didn't have a Southern thing.
Yeah,
and then I used to play I think her name was Trish. It was. What do we say? Thank you for putting this on.
Yeah,
that voice was a lady that I played. Yeah, like what's kind of been going on in your world? What are the challenges you're facing right now with everything?
So
how about
go ahead.
You say, Adam, you just recorded a special.
Oh yeah, that's better.
I'm gonna try to include that in the edit.
Say this.
Yeah,
Adam.
Yes,
you just recorded a special.
I did. I recorded it.
It was awesome.
Thank you. You were there. Gary, not so much.
Gary,
you were
didn't
there.
Care enough to show up.
He was like, "Oh, about it."
We were both. I opened for Adam, and Gary still didn't show up.
That's how. Yeah.
I booked a camping trip the same week.
Yeah.
With other people?
No, just by myself.
Okay.
He didn't want to break his plans with himself.
He didn't want to. He felt bad. Yeah. I did. Yeah. So
that's awesome.
When I got into stand up, I do like making jokes and I like writing a joke, but I like telling stories so much more.
Yeah.
And if I can just, like litter a story with tons of jokes in the middle, like that's just like my favorite. And like my dream really is to tour with one show.
Yeah.
Very much in the style of Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I'm a big fan of his. But I want to write whole hour-long, like, specials that are a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I've been working on this one for about, it's, it goes throughout my whole life, but I've been working on it since I became a comic, which was three and a half years ago, almost 4 years ago, called Who Brought the Kid, which is about an insecurity that I have dealt with my entire life. And doesn't that sound funny?
Oh my gosh, hilarious.
Yeah,
let the hilarity ensue.
Let it ensue. Yeah. I promise it's very funny. And so I've been, every time I have performed on stage, whether it be at an open mic or show or whatever it is, like I've been like trying to figure out like where can I find jokes that fall within those areas.
Yeah, right.
That can fit within the story. Because I can't really it would be really silly it would not make any sense if I was doing 20 minutes at a bar for a stand-up show and be like, all right, now I'm going to tell the second 20 minutes of my like it's not gonna make any sense,
right?
And nobody wants to hear that at the old Starlight.
Just want to get real with you guys tonight for a second.
So he called me the kid.
Insecurities that I've been dealing with.
Is Starlight a hotel?
No, it's an
actual place.
It's a bar right around
Starlight
the corner.
bar.
It's one of my favorite spots for
doing stand-up.
open mic. Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
Shout out to the Starlight.
Okay. Starlight.
Yeah. So so I over the last few years have just been working on this, and I've done it in there have been a couple of settings where I've been able to do large portions of it.
Yeah.
We did a show a long time ago that I kind of called a Working It Out show.
Yeah.
And then I've done a couple of churches where I could like do parts of it, which you've seen. And then I did it here at the house.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was pretty awesome.
And you had just had 5 people in your house?
I think we had 10 people.
10 people?
Yeah, 10 people here. And which,
sold out show.
It was a sold out show. Yeah.
Standing room only.
Yeah. And and then I performed it at my favorite spot downtown here in Tulsa. We filmed it. Big to do. Sold tickets, had about 100 people there, which was about max what we could fit in the room with all of our gear. And I did it. I did a rehearsal, and I did one. I was only able to do the show one time. In the future, my hope is I can tour with it,
right,
and hone it, and then eventually, film it somewhere where I'm like, okay, it's solid.
Yeah.
Put it on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not at that place in my career at the moment.
Yeah.
And so. Yeah, so we did it.
But it's a huge accomplishment just to even
thank you.
Was it an hour? Or was it 40?
It was just under an hour.
It was just under an hour. Yeah, that's a huge accomplishment to be able to deliver something like that.
Thanks, man.
It was really good. It was great.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Miss it.
Yeah, well, you'll never get to see it. Yeah. So thankfully, I forgot 2 of my favorite jokes.
Oh, wow.
Which is one of the hardest parts of doing this is just remembering everything. I forgot 2 of my favorite jokes. And thankfully, I filmed a rehearsal with no audience, and I remembered the jokes in that
one.
So they will be in there, and you will not know the difference.
Yeah, you'll just use laughter from other jokes.
From the other joke. Yeah.
Is that a common practice when people do specials? Do they use like canned laughter essentially to kind of juice up the jokes?
Yeah, there's this. I think the biggest story is that Mitch Hedberg's Comedy Central special didn't hit very well.
That's right. I remember hearing about this.
Yeah, which if you watch it,
that was a dog, by the way, that made that noise.
A dog made that noise. Have you heard that noise?
If anybody thought I just went, it was a dog.
Chris,
that one was me, but
that was Gary.
Yeah, Gary.
Yeah. There's this whole thing about Mitch Hedberg. If you watch his Comedy Central half hour, he ends up sitting on the stage for a while. I think this is true. Somebody told me this who knew him, and all that laughter is canned, supposedly. That's kind of the biggest, So, yeah, I mean, yeah, and it wouldn't be uncommon for I don't know, a joke. The thing about jokes. Thank you, Walter. The thing about jokes is I've done a joke, maybe 50 times before that always gets a laugh. And then I do it one place and I kind of mess it up, or I don't do it well, or I don't know. And that audience doesn't really laugh.
Yeah.
If that happened in the special, I'd juice it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll juice you up.
Yeah. So I am, so right now I'm working on editing that special. Where it lives, I'm not exactly sure yet, but you'll definitely see clips of it on TikTok and Instagram.
Netflix or
hopefully on Netflix.
Catch it on Netflix.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime.
Something like that. What's crazy is I filmed my Dry Bar special.
Yeah. A long
10, 12, 13 months ago. 13 months ago.
13 months ago.
I filmed it 13 months ago and it hasn't come out yet.
That's amazing.
There's a very good chance my special that I filmed this month, is going to come out before that one will.
Are you sure that you actually did a Dry Bar special?
I mean, I have seen it.
You can't.
Are you sure that it was the actual Dry Bar people?
Ooh.
I mean, you did have to pay $10,000 to do it.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, now that you're saying that, that is weird. And it was, the way it was spelled was DRYYYYYYY bar.
Yeah, it was a different one. Yeah, what you did was a different Dry Bar company.
Okay, you know what? Now that you're saying it, it's making a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Yeah,
I think it is on airing in Russia somewhere.
Okay, well, so we should be going
touring Russia.
Probably should go tour Russia.
It's a real hot spot.
Right now would be.
Yeah, it's perfect timing.
Yeah.
I love American stand-up comedy over there.
They're big fans of just American in general.
Well, yeah,
right now.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I'm editing that. I'm super booked up with a bunch of corporate gigs and church gigs. And I'm doing my first feature spot at a club out in Arkansas called The Grove, which I'm excited about.
Feature, is that like a headline?
Oh, it's like, I guess you wouldn't know. Like, so if you're in the club, if you're in the clubs, you're going to go, the first spot would be host, and the second, and then like you would move up to feature. So a host would do like 5 or 10 minutes, and host in between. Go up to feature, that's typically about 25 minutes, and then headliner would be 45 minutes. So like rites of passage along the way.
Right. Just steps along the way.
Yeah, I do perform at a lot of churches, which you know, but I really like performing in clubs because they're way harder than churches.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the material that I have is kind of made its way through a club, and I'm like, okay, if they like it, then there's a good chance the church crowd is going to like it.
Yeah.
My goal right now is to just do as many shows as I can, get as many clips out there as I can, and continue to write on the television show that I'm on right now.
Yeah.
Which is an animated television show.
That's
the two kind of work hand in hand. And so that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Is the animated show, does it have any jokes?
Yeah, it has so many jokes.
It seems like it's an action, like more in the lines of a G.I. Joe, X-Men.
Yeah, it's so the show that I'm on is called The Page Finders. It's an animated television show for 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, kind of preteen age. But and it's a space adventure, very much in the style of like Clone Wars or something like that. You don't know what we're talking about because you don't pay attention to Star Wars, but it's for kids. And so
is it like a self-aware adventure?
Not like self-aware, like Deadpool.
More like Data from Goonies.
Yeah. Yes. More like that. In fact, we say the show is Star Wars meets the Goonies because it's about a bunch of kids. Yeah. So So my special will come out beginning of next year, and it might be free on YouTube. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Keep your eyes peeled.
It's called Who Brought the Kid?
Who Brought the Kid?
And it is a thoughtful, very funny look at adolescence.
I loved it. I thought it was wonderful.
That's one review.
I'm looking forward to it.
Gary will hopefully see it at some point.
All right. So thanks for checking out the podcast. Share it with a friend if you can, and that's the best way that we get out there. Of course, you can leave a review, and then let us know what you think of the podcast. You can email riskitpod@gmail.com, and we love you.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Thanks so much for listening and watching.
All of it.
Every last second.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.